Hey everyone, my name is Catherine and welcome to my channel, and this is my first video back at home post my big EF Ultimate Break trip, which I had announced earlier right before I left because it was quite a spontaneous trip that I had booked. I've been wanting to go to these destinations for a while, but I had some time open up and I decided to go. So I definitely filmed along my trip, and I think by this point they should be all posted. But I also, while traveling, was definitely figuring out what I wish I'd brought and what I wish I hadn't brought, and especially because it was my first big trip post the pandemic starting. And so I definitely took notes along the way and wanted to share them with you guys because I really know, because I was struggling with this a lot before my trip. But packing for a trip like this, especially if you haven't done it in a long time or you've never done it, can be extremely overwhelming and nerve-wracking. And it definitely was something I was dealing with. And so I wanted to let you guys know what I have figured out as I was traveling so I can be better prepared next time. So just for some background, destination very much so determines what you're packing. And so I was going to two different EF trips. The first one was in Costa Rica and the second one was Ecuador and the Galapagos Islands. So definitely warmer climate trips. Costa Rica is a tropical climate, and then Ecuador and the Galapagos wasn't quite as warm as Costa Rica, but still was warmer destinations. I wanted to start out with things that I'm glad I did. So the first thing is I ended up buying a new suitcase. My last suitcase, which I typically just buy Samsonites for the most part, I just decided to get a new suitcase. And I'd heard a lot about the Away suitcases. I know they're a lot more expensive than other suitcases, but I decided to give it a try because honestly, a lot of my Samsonites have broken down on me in not very long time periods, and I thought it'd be better to invest in one suitcase. And especially when I heard that Away has a really good policy with them fixing your suitcase, because I think suitcases are one of those things that things are bound to happen. So I was, for the most part, really happy about my Away suitcase. The next thing I'm really glad I brought is packing cubes. I just got mine off of Amazon. This one apparently is called Organized Aesthetics. But then I also have these guys, which I think are super common because I saw my roommate on my EF Ecuador trip had these, but in like a bright green. And then I saw somebody else who had them in a blue color. And so I feel like if you type in packing cube on Amazon, these with the diagonal mesh are some of the first you will see. But I basically just got these two different types of packing cubes, and then they each come with like multiple sizes and shapes for whatever you want to pack to best organize. And I think people have a lot of opinions on packing cubes. If I was going to a trip such as one I'm actually going on soon, like a family trip, I'm going to one city in the US, I'm going to Miami, and we're staying in the same hotel the whole time. And it's a very easy, just fly, get to the hotel, I'm there for a week without going anywhere else. Like my suitcase stays in the hotel and then I come back home. For those trips, I don't typically use packing cubes, but for trips like EF, where every 1 to 3 days I'm going to a new city, so I'm having to repack everything and go, that can be quite a disaster, I think, without packing cubes, because everything's just everywhere, and with packing cubes you can really organize things. So I would put pants into one packing cube, but shirts into another one, things like that, so that everything is in its own packing cube, and it just made me feel a lot more organized and things didn't go everywhere, and it was just a lot easier in the end. And especially with this one, there's the zipper itself to open the packing cube, but then there's a zipper that actually compresses it. So this doesn't actually open the packing cube, but once you put all your shirts in, which is what I use this for, then you can zip it up and compress it, which also helps a lot. Another thing I'm glad I brought is actually a pillowcase. I know some people might bring a full-on pillow, but I did not have the space for that in my suitcase. But I'm really happy I brought a pillowcase, but I just like things to be clean. And I think especially with me who's had to deal with skin issues, mostly acne, I feel like, I don't know if it's me being paranoid or if I've noticed there have been times where I would stay at a hotel and then I would happen to break out where my face was on the pillow, and I do toss and turn during the night, so I'm sure both sides of my face would touch the pillow. But sometimes I just get paranoid because it's like, I feel like my face is the most valuable skin on my body, and it's just like you get really nice and intimate with those pillows when you're at hostels or Airbnbs or hotels, in EF's case hotels. So I decided to bring my own pillowcase just to kind of feel cleaner and better about myself, and that way I could really like put my face into the pillow and not have to worry about breaking out. And I don't know if it's because I'm going through a good skin period or if it actually worked, but my skin was doing pretty well on the trip, and whether it worked or not, I felt better about myself and cleaner about myself. The next thing I brought that I'm really happy I did is a travel towel. So it comes in this little mesh bag, and especially for my trips, specifically in Costa Rica, I was doing water activities pretty much every day. I have this travel towel from Eagle Creek, and it folds up really small. I just roll it, and it's really big. It can't even fit on the camera screen, and it opens up. It's a pretty big towel. And what I love about it is that it's so thin. It's made out of material that's supposed to be like antimicrobial, but also dry very fast. And I also did wash this throughout my trip. I only brought one, but I'm really happy I brought this. Another thing I'm glad I brought is a COVID test. So with EF right now, they basically require you to have a negative COVID test before the start of each trip within a 48-hour period, maybe 72-hour period. And honestly, before both my trips, no one from EF, my tour director, they did not ask about a negative test. But I'm glad that I brought it because I took one at home before going for my Costa Rica trip, but then I realized, oh, what if Ecuador wants me to take one right before that small time period and I'm not going to be home in between my two trips? So I brought it to have that peace of mind. And also, not gonna lie, on both my trips, people towards the end of both trips ended up getting COVID. And so I did definitely have kind of a panic moment in Costa Rica because I spent a few extra days there, worried that even though I had no symptoms, I was around multiple people who are now testing positive now that they've gotten back home from Costa Rica. And again, I'm waiting for my next EF trip in Ecuador. And so I was able to take one in the hotel room. I did a little tour in the middle of nowhere in the jungle in Costa Rica, so there would have been no access to any COVID tests, but the fact that I had one in my suitcase ready for me to take whenever I wanted to and know that I was negative gave me the biggest peace of mind. So I recommend bringing those with you. Another thing I'm really glad I brought was my hydro flask, and I cannot find it for some reason in my house. I know it's somewhere around here, otherwise I'd show it to you, but having a reusable water bottle is great, even in countries like Ecuador and Costa Rica where it is not recommended to drink the tap water at all, especially in Ecuador. But there was a lot of places that had purified or drinkable water in like big jugs or canisters that you can refill your water bottle with, which was great. One thing I specifically did was with my hydro flask, it just came with like a twist off knob, and you would just drink it like this from like an open mouth source. But I went to REI near me and I saw that they had a different type of twist off. So it was basically one where you could pop up a little like mouthpiece, and it was like a straw that went into the water bottle. Having a way to like really quickly and easily and more comfortably drinking water will have you drink more water. So, and that's the most important thing on these trips, is to stay hydrated. So I definitely recommend that. Another thing I brought that I was debating on not bringing is a neck pillow, and I use that on flights. I use that on the buses just because honestly these trips are exhausting, and whenever we're in some mode of transportation, I could not stay awake. I was falling asleep because it was so tiring. These trips on some are so fun but so exhausting, so I'm really glad I brought my neck pillow just to make things easier and more comfortable when falling asleep in different modes of transportation while sitting upright. I ended up buying an iPad right before this trip, and I decided why not only bring my iPad to EF with me instead of my full-on laptop. I didn't need to do work or school or anything during this travel. I would just answer emails or like watch videos, and you can do that on an iPad, and it's a lot smaller and more convenient. So I'm really glad I just brought my iPad. Another thing is I was debating on how many like purses to bring or bags. I brought one crossbody purse, which was kind of like my everyday purse, but honestly I didn't even wear it too much during the daytime. And then I had my like carry-on airplane backpack that housed all my electronics and important paperwork and cables and chargers and all of that. And then within the backpack laptop pocket, because in the back there's like a full-on space for pocket, in REI I bought like a smaller size, but not technically small, hiking backpack that's from Camelback. And I was able to kind of scrunch it and put it in that laptop sleeve, and that worked beautifully because I think my carry-on backpack would have been too much for everyday backpack use and for hiking. And I wanted to have a good sturdy backpack for the airplane for electronics. So the fact that I had like a backpack in a backpack, if this all makes sense, was great. Another thing is I remembered last minute that I probably would want to bring swim shorts, because a lot of the activities we were doing, especially in Costa Rica, I wouldn't want to just be in a swimsuit. Like whitewater rafting, for example, they were a lot more sporty and adventurous. So last minute, I looked on Amazon for some swim shorts and ended up getting a black pair. And I wore those swim shorts more than anything on, especially my Costa Rica leg, but also Ecuador. I just wore them as everyday shorts because for the most part, all my shorts are like denim shorts or biker shorts, which I still feel like I don't look the best in biker shorts, so I don't wear them very often. And then with denim shorts, they're denim, so they're tighter and just not as comfortable, especially when you're on buses for long stretches and then you're hiking and then you're swimming, all these activities. You want something that's stretchy and comfortable. And so these shorts, although they're meant for water, I would wear them just as everyday shorts, and it worked beautifully. And then they're quick dry, and I just heavily recommend them if you're doing an EF trip that is more adventurous and water-based. And for my last thing that I'm happy about is the swimsuits I have. So I think a lot of us, especially females, can relate to the fact that buying swimsuits can be such a headache, and it can be so hard to find the right swimsuit that's comfortable, that makes us feel good, and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm also a bit more, I guess, conservative when it comes to the types of swimsuits I want to wear. And it was really hard for a long time, and still can be, to find good swimsuits. And typically I would go for one pieces, but I feel like lately when I wear one pieces, because especially since I'm taller, it feels really constricting. I recently found a brand named Nani. Now they're going to be my go-to swim brand. I really love them. They're cute, but they cover up, and they're also good for like more sporty activities, but they don't look sporty. So I think it's just the best combination of everything. So I have a few examples. I don't have any matching sets with me right now, but you can also mix and match, which is great. So here's one swimsuit top that I really like, and it's got that racer back. It's got like a zipper, and it's like a longer zipper for easier like access when you're like trying to zip up in the back. They also have this in the black and white version if you would prefer that, and it's pretty high neck as well. And then it also kind of, the band ends here, so it goes down a little bit. And I felt comfortable wearing this snorkeling or other activities as well. And I have the matching bottoms to this, which of course are high-waisted because that's all I'm gonna get. And yeah, so I love that. And actually my favorite top of theirs is their cross stitch kind of one shoulder top. And this is one I found in REI. The original one I got from Anthropologie I wear all the time, and they have this in so many different colors. I found this pair of bottoms, and it's just so flattering on. It's very high-waisted. It goes past the belly button, and it has pretty full coverage in the back. And what I like about it, if you can tell, it has this ruching on the side, and as you can tell, it kind of has like extra fabric in the front, so it just looks very flattering on. Definitely recommend these. I also have them in an orange pair that I wore a lot on my trip, so I know I'll wear them because I already have, just a different color, and I'd pair it with this swimsuit a lot as well. That is the list of what I'm glad I brought. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video of mine. And let me know if you're thinking of going on any EF trips. And if you are, I actually have a discount code for you guys. I have a link down below along with a promo code for $100 off an EF trip. So feel free to use that because we love a good discount. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day or night whenever you're seeing this. Bye.